Hey Danielle, I'm getting ready for a judging rally and I need your help. I know there's lots of information in this judging manual, but it's really hard to understand and find where it is.
Judging does take a lot of practice, but the main thing to remember is that it's all about thinking critically, with making decisions and comparing animals. Once you have those down, judging gets a lot easier. Welcome to the Comparative Clinic. Today, we're going to practice some judging. Our class today is toilet paper, but before we begin that, let's go over some basics. First, you might be asking yourselves, why do we judge? Well, we can learn a lot from judging. It helps us to practice critical thinking, and we develop our decision-making skills. As well, we learn how to effectively communicate through oral and written reasons, and it helps to develop confidence in yourself. There are also some benefits to judging. You learn how to organize your thoughts and express yourself in a convincing manner. You also can become more comfortable with different terminology, and you can practice pronouncing words clearly. Finally, you learn how to defend your decisions. There are some basics to judging that we'll go through. Number 1, be aware of the specific details of the class. For example, if it's a market class versus a breeding class, you'll be looking at different things when you're judging. It's important to go through the criteria in order to determine what's different. Another example is if you're judging light horse versus heavy horse. Secondly, it's important to mentally review the criteria before you start judging the class. Another example, if you're judging a market class, you'll probably be judging the loin, but the eyes and ears of the animal are not important. These are the kind of things that you need to go through before you start judging the class. Also, it's important to use the correct terminology for that class. Lastly, you want to make sure that you always rank the animals using the specific criteria that has already been put out. If you need to, write yourself some notes on the side when you're judging the class in order to remember why you ranked the animals the way you did. Here, I have a sample of a standard 4-H judging card. For the introduction, at your judging rally, you'll be given instructions whether to fill in your own name in your club or an entry number that will be given to you. It's really important to remember to fill in the class, however, so that you know which class you're going to and that the judge understands that you know what you're judging. Then, moving on, we have the top, middle, and bottom pairs. So we have the top and the middle in the front, and the bottom pair is on the back. The last written section is for your last place. You want to make sure to include a grant in this placing. And it's really important to remember to put your concluding statement. These are my reasons for placing this class of blank and whatever you place them. Now, the most important thing to remember when you're judging is that you must compare your reasons. To do this, you need to be comparing a pair within the class. Just describing the individual animals or items in the class will not help you receive any marks. It must always be a pair. In order to make sure that you are comparing the animals or items, there are a few words that can help indicate whether you're doing this or not. These words end usually with an E and an R. For example, greater, longer, larger, straighter, and smoother. If you're using those terminology, you're probably comparing the right way. Also, remember that you need to use accurate terminology and relevant comparisons for the class. There are some things to remember when you're judging. You always want to put 3 or 4 reasons per pair, and as well, the differences between the animals should be ranked in the order of strongest reason at the beginning. You usually want to put your grants at the end and are not necessary for every pair. Don't forget, neatness and spelling do count. And don't forget that concluding statement. Now on to today's class, toilet paper. Now we do have a criteria that we should stick to. It includes the following. How soft, thick, and gentle is the toilet paper? What is its color? Is it appealing? What is the ease of usage? Are the sheets individually perforated or not? How much paper is on each roll, and what is the convenience? What is the absorbency and texture? And is it safe for sewers and septic tanks? Using that criteria, we're going to judge the following class. I'll describe the samples to you. This sample has perforated sheets, it's really soft, and is nice, bright, and white. Our second sample is not as thick, although the sheets are perforated, but you can see light through them more than the first sample. Our third sample is off of a big roll, and it's not perforated. And our last sample is paper towel. We have completed a judging card for you to look at. These are my reasons for placing this class of toilet paper 1, 2, 3, and 4. I place number 1 over number 2 because number 1 is a thicker sample than number 2 as it is double ply versus single. Number 1 is more visually appealing because it is a brighter, whiter color than number 2. And the double size roll of number 1 will last longer and is more convenient than number 2. I place number 2 over number 3 because number 2 has a softer texture than number 3. Number 2 is also a brighter color than number 3. I do grant that the large roll of number 3 would be convenient. However, number 2 would be easiest to use due to the perforated sheets. I place number 3 over number 4 because number 3 is more user-friendly because it's in the roll than number 4. Number 3 is more gentle product than number 4, and number 3 is more biodegradable than number 4. Number 3 is also a much more appealing color and texture than number 4. And I place number 4 last because number 4 has a rough texture, an unappealing color, and is inconvenient to store. Number 4 is in an awkward shape and composition and should not actually be used as toilet paper, except in emergency situations. Number 4 is also not appropriate for use in sewer and septic systems. These are my reasons for placing this class of toilet paper 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now for the final reminders. Spelling and terminology count. Also remember to print neatly. Avoid nondescript terms like nice and good. And break the class into pairs for your comparisons. Remember to use those comparison words for every reason. And good luck to all of your judging classes.
Danielle. After learning all this stuff about comparative terms, it was so much easier to judge at the judging rally.
That's good to hear, Brina. Now you probably noticed, once you went through the whole DVD, that there was a lot of repeated terms and many different similarities within the animals. In order to make sure you have the correct terminology, you can always consult your Livestock Judging Manual, which is publication number 427.